Hey ladies and gentlemen, Wolfcryer here, and welcome to another update for patch 2.6.1. And while Blizzard said that there would be no major changes coming to this patch on the PTR, it seems there were a couple of major changes introduced as of yesterday. And the majority of those were actually slight nerfs to certain builds that had far surpassed what they expected, and a couple of buffs as well, including a buff that I truly feel was completely unnecessary and added a little imbalance to this patch. Now, this patch was introduced in order to bring in some balance to all the classes, several builds, so that they could all push at somewhat the same level. And I was greatly appreciative of that effort by Blizzard. And my favorite class, the Monk, it seems, that doesn't matter anymore, because the latest buff for the Monk truly solidifies one build as the top GR pushing build, and Ulianas can no longer compete. So let's go ahead and start off with Crusader. For the Akan's 6-piece set bonus, while Akarat's champion is active, that initial buff of 1,000% is now 1,300%. So a buff for the Akan set for the Crusader. And Blessed Hammer also got a buff with the set bonus for Seeker of Light. Blessed Hammer now deals 1,300% increased damage instead of the initial buff to 1,000%. So 2 buffs for the Crusader. Very decent. Brings Blessed Hammer back up into the fold and buffs up that Akan set even further. So we're going to have to wait and see on that. Akan's is looking very strong, as is Blessed Hammer still, so pretty much keeping that balance going. A little bit of nerfs here, a little bit of buffs here. That is definitely going to be needed with this patch in order to balance out this game. Alright, so next up we have the Barbarian. Whirlwind got nerfed, ladies and gentlemen. Not a huge nerf, but Skullgrass went from that 400 to 500% increased damage down to 300 to 400% increased damage. And the 6-piece Wrath of Waste set damage bonus for your Whirlwind is now 3,000% instead of that initial bonus of 3,400%. So Whirlwind definitely got a little bit of a nerf, but you got to keep in mind that the buffs still well outweigh what is currently possible in Season 11. So it's very, very strong build indeed. I don't know if anybody's going to be playing it, since Hammer of Ancients is all over the leaderboards on the PTR, but Whirlwind is still viable. Got a slight nerf, but for the most part, it's still a very, very strong build. In Season 11, it is the top leaderboard pusher, and in Season 12, it still looks like it's going to get a massive damage boost, even with these slight nerfs. Now for the DH, the only thing that really changed was that Impale build, which was actually introduced during a previous patch right after that final patch that they did. And Impale now deals 50,000% increased damage to the first target hit with the Shadow's Mantle 6-piece set bonus. And Carlay's Point went from a 60 to 80% damage bonus to 225 to 300% damage bonus. So Impale build really, really strong come Season 12. Might just be the strongest build for the Demon Hunter. We're going to have to wait and see on that, but with that damage boost, it's pretty substantial. People were complaining about the Shadow's Mantle Impale build not getting enough love during this PTR. Well, now it's got it. So good luck with that, and hopefully you guys still have some balance over with the DH class. Another damage bonus that went out with this patch is Wraps of Clarity for the Demon Hunter. And that went from that 30 to 35% damage increase to 40 to 50% damage increase for your generators. So nice little buff there as well. We're going to have to wait and see how Demon Hunter shapes up, but I'm still thinking Impale is going to be beast. Multi-shot is still too, and especially with the grenade builds, that sort of thing. So we're going to have to wait and see how that balances out, but overall, Impale got buffed big time. Another nerf that might actually bother a lot of people is Witch Doctor actually got 2 nerfs during this PTR. One of which was that Helltooth 6-piece set bonus, which went from 100%, which initially that was a massive buff to begin with, and that is down to 3,700%. And Iraqirs went from 4,500% to 3,900% for the 6-piece set bonus. But that does mean that Iraqirs Fire Bats is probably more powerful than the Helltooth now. So it looks like they switched things up, and Helltooth might be relegated to that second best when it comes to the Fire Bats. Now for the Wizard, it got a couple of nerfs as well, in addition to 1 buff. So Delceray's Magnum Opus went from that 4,100% damage increase down to 3,800% damage increase. So a little bit of a nerf there, and Firebirds also got nerfed back down to 200% instead of that 250%. So we're going to have to see how those 2 builds work out, but I'm thinking that they are still very viable builds. These were very minor nerfs and more of a rebalancing issue with these. Veer's 6-piece, however, went to 50% instead of that initial buff of 25% damage bonus per stack of your Archon stack. So Veer's 6-piece got a little bit of a buff. I don't know if that's going to make the Veer's 6-piece set builds viable, but we're going to have to wait and see on that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now on to the one that actually bothers me, and that is Monk. First up, let's go with the one that doesn't bother me, and that is Spirit Guards. Went from 30 to 40% damage mitigation up to 45 to 60% damage mitigation. That is very, very useful for the generator builds for the Monk, and now with the Uliana's Ewell Cube Spirit Guards instead of Lefebvre's, which makes my build guide correct, which is pretty cool. But Spirit Guards got a nice damage mitigation buff, which definitely helps out certain builds for the Monk, and I'm actually very, very interested in that come Season 12. But, ladies and gentlemen, the one that actually bothers me is the Sun Wuko's Monkey King's Garb. Initially, during the PTR, it got a bonus of 600% per sweeping wind stack, and you never lost the stacks anymore. And it ramped up quite nicely so that you were dealing a substantial amount of damage. And this was topping the leaderboards on the PTR, even with the buffs to Uliana's. And Uliana's is still a very strong build, capable of doing 105 plus. But it seems that the current buff that was increased in this patch to 1,000 per stack for your Sun Wuko's 6-piece set bonus, that is now a 10,000% damage increase to your Wave of Light, Lashing Tail Kick, and Tempest Rush. And it seems that Wave of Light is definitely going to be the strongest build for the Monk. And I was truly hoping for a little bit of balance, but they took the best build and buffed it, probably giving Uliana's EP zero chance of keeping up with the Wave of Light build. That's my opinion just from the gameplay that you are viewing now. It's just plain crazy. This is gameplay from a 7-minute, 30-second GR80 with no augments whatsoever on my gear and no legendary gems, and every last point of my Paragon removed. So if you are at level 70 with Ancient Gear, no Primals, Ancient Gear, and no Paragon, no Legendary Gems, and no Augments, you can do a GR80 in less than 8 minutes. That's a little crazy for this build. That is absolutely insane. I actually followed this one up with a GR85 in 12 minutes. No legendary gems, no augments, no Paragon allocated at all. Not even 800 Paragon. I did it with 0 points allocated in my Paragon, and it's just plain crazy. This build is out of control when it comes to the monks. I do actually hope, and forgive me guys, because I love Wave of Light, I love the monk, and I'm loving the love that we are receiving in this patch, but this needs a slight nerf in order to keep things balanced in this class. At least that's my personal opinion. Now, I'm not saying Sun Wukong's needs that nerf because LTK and Tempest Rush both benefit from this as well, but maybe nerf that, you know, damage bonus to Wave of Light as far as one of its individual pieces. I don't know how to fix that, but Wave of Light should easily be able to do a 115 in Season 12, which is just plain crazy. If you get somebody with 3,000 Paragon, that is definitely going to be possible. All right, guys, sorry about that little rant about this, but there you have your patch notes for the recently released PTR update. And hopefully you guys are having fun on the PTR. Hopefully you're all looking forward to Season 12 as much as I am, because it is definitely going to be awesome as far as the build diversity, that sort of thing. I do hope they fix the Wave of Light thing now, because I enjoy Ulianans just as much as I enjoy Wave of Light, and I enjoy the generator builds as well a little bit. So I like the diversity, and I'd like to keep it that way, so hopefully something gets done with the Wave of Light build, because I think overall it is way too powerful. And guys, I am a monk main. I love the monk. I'd love to be able to push well into the, you know, 110s, 115s with a build, but I'd also like to keep it balanced. That's the point of this patch. It's a balancing patch. All right, guys, thank you so very much for checking out this video. I greatly appreciate it always. And make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and you guys have a great day. Peace.